Hi, I'm Mark Mahoney, founder and president of Voltmarc Technology. Voltmarc Technology has circuit tracing and monitoring technology, patented technology. We came up with this idea because of a problem in the electrical industry where circuits throughout commercial buildings cannot be traced. Nobody knows which circuit breaker controls what outlet, what circuit. And this became a problem, is a problem. This is something that actually has plagued the electrical industry for over 30, possibly even 50 years. I've been in the trade for over 30 years, and as an electrical contractor, this has been a problem with me and every company that I've ever worked for. Back in 2003, I was actually on a project and had a building engineer ask me if I could get down to his building right away. I showed up and he showed me his electrical room that had 10 panels in it that were missing the panel schedules, which told him where all the circuits went. Somebody had actually just taken them out and never replaced them. So in a panic, he asked me, can you circuit trace all the circuits in the building, and how much would it cost and how long would it take you? Well, my answer was that I can't give him a cost. I could do it on a time and material basis. It may take me a week, it may take me a month. There's just no way to be able to perform this work. So he said thank you, and I went out to the truck, and it hit me. Here it is, it's 2003, and still we can't seem to figure out how to circuit trace circuits in a very fast and economical way. So that was my eureka moment, and so I started to draw up some prints, and some way, my first technical way of being able to circuit trace these. And in 2004 we applied for a patent, and in 2008 we received the patent. And what we have is the fastest circuit tracing capability that is available today in the electrical industry. Typical circuit tracing the conventional way right now would be anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes to be able to circuit trace, to be able to find out what circuit breaker feeds what outlet. That's all about how long it would take the conventional method. With our test equipment, we can plug in the tester and hit the switch, and within 5 seconds we'll know exactly which panel, which circuit breaker feeds that outlet. So in 2003, in order to get started, didn't have a shop of my own, but I did have a garage. You've heard a lot of stories probably of guys who, or anybody, inventors, they started out working in the garage. It's the only place available. So that's my story. I actually started out in the garage as well. So how was I going to be able to create this equipment? I didn't know what it was going to look like. I had no idea how big it was going to be. I didn't even know what kind of components. I had to, it's trial and error, so I had to buy a lot of pieces of equipment, a lot of components, a lot of which eventually became just unused equipment. I have to say that if you're going to create something, if you're going to invent something, it's not for the faint of heart. You have to, if you're going to pursue it, you have to stay on it, and all the way to the end. And it's worth it, but you just need to know that. So I started out in the garage and bought what I thought was the best case for the first equipment. What you're looking at is the very first equipment that I built. And everything that you see is equipment that was either purchased at electronic shops, Radio Shack, anywhere, online, any part or equipment pieces that I could put together in order to accomplish what it was that I was setting out for. So local manufacturers cut the plates, water jet cutting, powder coating, was all done by local businesses. And so this one was built in 2003. It was built to only monitor and circuit trace one electrical panel. As you can see the size of this right here. The equipment that now is capable of doing one panel is a quarter of this size now. So the beautiful thing about technology, it's always getting faster, smaller, and cheaper, which allows through time, it allows equipment to get much smaller and faster. This is the very first prototype of the circuit tracing equipment that we came up with. As I mentioned before, that over time technology gets faster, smaller, and less expensive, which allows you to build something like this. This actually does the exact same thing that this equipment does, just over a few years. This will actually get much smaller in the next couple of years. The conventional method of circuit tracing today is done with a frequency-based method, and frequency-based method right now does not lend itself to be able to trace circuits at the speed and the amount of circuits that we can do today. So our goal, our problem, as you might say, would be to create a signal, and what kind of signal is that going to be in order to lend itself for circuit tracing several circuits at the same time. Now, the circuit signal that we came up with allows us to monitor hundreds of circuits simultaneously and wait for our signal to come through the line and tell us exactly which panel or which circuit breaker feeds that outlet or that circuit. So how are we going to do that? Being in the trade as long as I have, I came up with a signal that is a typical signal that's used on electrical circuits all the time. So what we did was we knew that we didn't have the technology or the background in order to do programming and come up with the signal that we needed. So I can't go to school for several years in order to be able to learn that technology. So what I did was I went out and found somebody who works for the company that actually makes the components, and I hired him to come to my garage and do the programming at my house. And that's where we started. We've been working together now for 10 years. And so there's several ways to overcome problems. That was an obstacle, and I had to problem solve. I get asked all the time if I have an electrical engineering degree, and I don't. I have no college education, actually. I started out in the electrical trade because my dad was an electrical contractor. I applied to go to a vocational technical high school instead of a regular high school, and for 4 years I took the electrical program there. And after that, excuse me, I joined the Navy in the Seabees construction battalion and was an electrician at several places around the world. Part of that training was the Navy electrical training and the electronic schools that the Navy offered. So that is my background, becoming a journeyman electrician in Massachusetts, here in Arizona, and electrical contractor here in Arizona. So after 30 some odd years of the electrical trade, that's where I am today. Last year we found out about CEI and what they offer and what the requirements were going to be in order to be accepted into CEI. So we started the application process, and it's a tough one. There's a lot of oversight, and there is a business plan. There's much to do in order to finally be accepted here at CEI. Voltmarc Technology, my company, actually was the first client at CEI. We moved in here, kind of the guinea pig. I think they were still finishing construction when we moved in. What CEI has done for us since we've been here is tremendous. We have access to over 80 mentors here at CEI. They help us with marketing, they help us with business plans, patented technology as far as researching other patents to make sure that we're not infringing on any other patents. We have total access to all those who work here at CEI. They have a philosophy here that it's all about the clients, and they mean it. They'll direct any attention to us, to all the clients here, for just about anything that we need. Since our test equipment is much more expensive than the conventional test equipment, our business model is going to be franchising. And we're actually currently speaking with those who are in franchise business in order to mentor us as to what we'll need to know and what we'll come across, the obstacles, problems, in order to achieve that.
Hi everybody, my name is Greg Bullock. I'm the marketing assistant here at the Center for Entrepreneurial Innovation at Gateway Community College, also known as CEI. And what we do here is basically we help early stage and startup companies grow their business, whether they're in the very early stages of trying to acquire funding or just kind of make a name for themselves, to other companies who are a little bit beyond that and are actually looking to commercialize their business and take it to the market. So we bring clients in and we give them access to all sorts of resources, from student research teams and mentors and business counseling. And it's really just for the purpose of helping to grow these companies to create jobs in the region and in the state. So that's what we do here at CEI.